Telling my BF's best friend the truth about why he can't live with us? I am a 24-year-old and I live with my boyfriend who is 25 years old, in a 2-bedroom apartment in a major city. However, for the past week we have been fighting, and it has been almost impossible to resolve the issue because of a decision I made spitefully, which is why I think I may actually be in the wrong here. The apartment is not large enough for us to avoid each other for much longer, and I really need an impartial third-party opinion to help me figure out if I am the one at fault in this situation or not. To provide some background, my boyfriend, let's call him Sam, and I have been officially dating since we moved in together 2 years ago. We decided to live together right after I graduated from university, and things had been going well until this recent argument. Before we officially started dating, Sam and I had been casually hooking up for about a year. During that time, Sam was living in a house with his best friend, let's call him Max. Max is 27 years old and has been Sam's closest friend for many years. They share a bond that is almost like that of siblings, and Sam considers Max an important part of his life. As for my relationship with Max, we've never truly gotten along. I have made genuine efforts to establish a better connection with him, but for some reason he seems uninterested. When I interact with Max, he either appears completely disinterested or acts as though my presence is an annoyance to him. It's not as if I haven't tried to engage with him in a friendly way, I absolutely have, but he doesn't reciprocate. His attitude towards me has always been lukewarm at best and I've never really understood why. Sam believes the issue might have to do with the age gap between Max and me. Sam has suggested that Max might find it harder to relate to me because I am 3 years younger than him. However, I don't think this explanation holds much weight. After all, Sam and Max have a 2-year age gap, and they get along perfectly fine. If Max is able to maintain such a strong bond with Sam despite a small age difference, then I don't see why my being slightly younger should matter at all. I've thought about it and it just doesn't make sense to me, but Sam seems convinced that it might be the reason behind Max's indifferent attitude towards me. Now, let me explain the situation that led to our current argument. Recently, Max went through a breakup with his girlfriend. The two of them had been living together in her apartment, but after the breakup, she understandably asked him to leave. As far as I know, Max didn't have a backup plan for where he was going to live once their relationship ended. For whatever reason, he seemed to assume that he would still have a place to stay even after he told his girlfriend that he wasn't attracted to her anymore. To be honest, I don't understand his reasoning there, and I haven't bothered to ask for more details about what went down. The bottom line is that Max ended up being homeless after the breakup, and he turned to Sam for help. He asked Sam if he could stay with us in our apartment for a while. However, there's one important detail to keep in mind. I also live in this apartment, and I contribute equally to the rent and utilities. Despite this, Max didn't feel the need to consult me or ask for my opinion on the matter. It seems like, in his mind, Sam is the only person whose opinion matters because his name is the one on the lease. All this aside, Sam has made it clear that he doesn't want Max to come and live with us again, which honestly works for me because I wouldn't particularly enjoy living with someone who barely acknowledges my presence and seems to actively dislike me. I think Sam's reasoning is partially based on the fact that Max used to be quite a slob when they lived together before, at least according to Sam's own words, not mine. I also suspect that Sam simply doesn't want to deal with the hassle of adding another person to our already small apartment. However, Sam clearly lacks the courage to express this directly to Max, so instead, he decided to use me as an excuse for why Max can't stay with us. According to what Sam told me, he assured Max that he would absolutely love for him to move in with us and relive the good old days when they used to live together. However, he claimed that the only reason this wasn't possible was because his girlfriend, me, wouldn't allow it. That's right, instead of being honest with his friend about his own feelings, Sam decided to throw me under the bus and make it seem like I'm the sole obstacle standing in the way of their reunion as roommates. Now, if this were the extent of the situation, I could probably have dealt with it. I wouldn't have been happy about being made out to be the bad guy, but I would have tolerated it for the sake of keeping the peace. However, Max did not take this news well. Instead of acting like a mature adult and accepting the situation, he decided to start harassing me. He began blowing up my phone with a barrage of text messages, calling me every name under the sun. He called me a bitch, accused me of being jealous, and threw in random insults that didn't even relate to the actual issue at hand. The messages were incredibly cruel and personal. They were so specifically tailored to hurt me that I'm genuinely afraid to share them here because they would likely make it obvious who I am. I showed these messages to Sam, hoping he would step in and defend me or at least tell Max to stop. Instead, Sam brushed it off, telling me I should just ignore them. He asked me to do him this one favor and let it go, arguing that since Max and I already don't like each other, There was no real harm in me taking the fall for the decision to not let Max move in. This brings me to where I might be the asshole. After 10 days of receiving non-stop abusive messages from Max, I reached my breaking point. Instead of continuing to ignore him or blocking his number, I snapped and told him the truth. It was late at night, I was exhausted, and I had been drinking wine, which probably lowered my inhibitions. Sam was out with Max at the time, still hanging out with his friend and enjoying his company despite everything Max had been saying to me. I was feeling angry, hurt, and honestly a little spiteful. So, in that moment of weakness, I told Max that Sam was lying to him. I told him that Sam was the one who didn't want him to move in, and that I had nothing to do with the decision. I admitted that Sam was using me as an excuse because he didn't want to hurt Max's feelings. Unfortunately, this confession didn't have the effect I hoped it would. Instead of calming down or redirecting his anger towards Sam, Max didn't believe me. He thought I was lying to him, and if anything, it only made him angrier at me. The abusive messages continued, and I felt like I had made the situation even worse. On top of that, I broke the promise I had made to Sam not to tell Max the truth. I let Max's harassment get to me, and in a moment of frustration and vulnerability, I went against my better judgment and acted out of spite. After I sent the message, I got a call from Sam but ignored it, going to bed. When I woke up, I assume a couple of hours later, I had an angry boyfriend in my bedroom telling me that I was an asshole, not the word he used actually, and that Max didn't even believe me. I then asked him why it mattered so much, since Max didn't believe me, but I think he had had one too many drinks because he couldn't answer me and went to sleep on the couch. It's been a week now and we've been giving each other the silent treatment. Max has come over for a couple of nights, sitting on the couch and watching football with Sam and giving me a similar stink eye, but I've just left them to it and have moved into the guest room, partially to avoid Sam, partially to stop him from letting Max sleep here. So yeah, I'm typing this on day 5 of the Cold War from the guest bedroom, while my boyfriend is sleeping in our bed still angry at me for jeopardizing his friendship. She posted an update as mini update. Hello beautiful people of Reddit. The sun has just come out. Metaphorically speaking, I still live in the UK, and I've been inspired to write this mini update to tell everyone all the petty things I have been doing while I wait for my best friend to come back from abroad so that we can move in together. For everyone wondering about it, I have amazing news. Her parents have doubled down on helping me and are trying to speed up the apartment stuff so that there's a chance to start moving my stuff in even earlier. As for the update, I thought I'd keep coming back to this post and adding to it every time I did something mildly petty. I know I said in my last post that I was going to live quietly so that Sam wouldn't kick me out, but some really amazing people messaged me to advise that I blackmail him into letting me stay until the end of the month by threatening to inform the landlord of Max's illegal tenancy. How fun is that? Without further ado, here is the list with the dates attached. Hopefully I'll keep coming back to it and editing it, and I will try to credit the Reddit users who advised me. 1. Had a lock installed on the guest bedroom. 2. Put all the stuff I bought in the guest bedroom such as the toaster, coffee machine, and all my plants. 3. Called my male coworker over to install said lock. He's gay but Sam doesn't need to know that, and slightly dressed up while he was over. Thanks for the inspiration. 4. Bought 2 packets of shrimp. 5. Cleared a specific shelf for me in the fridge and the bathroom cabinet, started labeling all my things really passive-aggressively. 6. Have not bought glitter yet because I'm so accident-prone I can't ensure that it won't get all over me first, but trust when I say that there are plans in motion on this front. 1. When I left for work I kept my laptop open and playing Baby Shark over and over again. It was annoying for the small amount of time I had to hear it leaving and then coming back, and I had several missed calls and texts from Max asking me to please do something about it. Nothing from Sam, annoyingly, but I guess he has more of a quiet anger while Max is loud. 2. I baked. Still not so confident in my ability to cook steak, but I've always made a good lemon drizzle. I decided to use vanilla extract and white chocolate in the drizzle to make it smell better. It was too sweet for me but everyone at work liked it. Reaction? Max asked if any was left, and I told him I had taken it into work since I wasn't fond of it. He laughed but Sam quite literally glowered at me, which made me feel very smug. 3. I also decided to start grinding my coffee out in the kitchen. I moved it to my room after Reddit comments told me to take everything away, and I buy a really sweet and nutty blend so the smell is divine. I'm a bit worried with how amazing the apartment smelled today that I may have accidentally made the living situation a little nicer for them, but I think that it will start working really well once I leave. It'll make it more noticeable for them, like Pavlov's dog? Sorry if there's anyone I forgot to thank, I'm totally swamped with comments and I'm trying my best to reply to all of them. I'll update more tomorrow if there's anything to say, but feel free to comment more suggestions on petty revenge I can take as I begin moving out. Thanks, Reddit, promise I'll keep feeding you well. Edit, guys, I made stir fry with the shrimp. Oh my god, I'm not going to use them, please stop commenting telling me not to use them. I know. I'm sorry, I thought it was common sense to see that I wasn't going to create an illegal biohazard in a property owned by an innocent landlord. She posted an update as update 1. Well, for everyone who thought they might be sleeping together, you were right, I caught them fucking and sucking in our living room. Just kidding, but that would probably be funnier than this update is going to be. LOL. If you didn't see my previous post, basically the TLDR is that my BF threw me under the bus when his friend needed a place to stay, saying it was just me that was against it, and then didn't defend me against the barrage of abusive texts his best friend sent me thereafter. So I'm still here in the guest room, using Reddit as my only means of escape from my depressing reality, but for everyone who warned me that Sam would probably cave and let Max move in eventually, yeah, he did, and it only took 1 day since my previous post. They are not sharing a bed yet, lol. Max has parked himself on our couch and shoved his stuff inside what used to be our bedroom. I was working from home this afternoon when the two of them started moving in, so I was able to grab everything and lock it in the guest room with me, barricade actually. Sam texted me asking me to talk to them over dinner, probably about future living arrangements since it's clear what is inevitable here, but I just told him that I was coming down with a flu and should be avoided. Even though it's annoying having to talk so nicely to him, I still have to live here for 2 weeks more before I can escape, so I'm trying to act as normal as possible. I'm really lucky that one of my friends is coming back from her work abroad in about 2 weeks, since her parents have arranged an apartment for her to move into and she's invited me to stay with her there until I can find somewhere else. It's been so difficult for me while she's been gone since she was basically my only friend in this city who wasn't also friends with Sam and Max. Speaking to her, even if it's the middle of the night where she is and she has no reception, has opened my eyes to how quickly I need to get out of both this relationship and this building. Girls out there, talk to your friends, they're seriously the biggest blessing you'll ever get. So yeah, if anyone has any advice to make these 2 weeks pass a little quicker, it would be appreciated. I think I'm still a devil woman in both their eyes, and our mutual friends are somehow taking Sam's side. I don't know if he spun them a different story or it's just the fact that they were all his friends first or even the fact that he's the baby of the group. Yeah. How did I not see that this was a red flag? But at this point it doesn't even matter anymore. Thank you to everyone who commented, showed interest and concern, etc. I didn't know how much I needed to speak to someone who wasn't friends with Sam. Hopefully my next update will be when I'm moved out, but for now I'm safe and grateful. She posted an update as update 2. Also, in response to those asking how Sam and Max are reacting to my antics, see my mini update if confused. I'm sorry to say that even though many people recommended taking the petty route, it hasn't yielded much fruit, and if anything I just feel more childish for doing anything. Before all of that, though, I need to give a little more background so that everyone understands why this past week has been so odd. So, Sam has always been a very conflict-avoidant person. I've never actually seen him get angry at anyone, or if he does, he's more often just frustrated in the moment and then apologizes. This is probably why in my first post I was almost convinced I was the AH, since he was genuinely quite upset with me, which is something very rare in our relationship. I've always felt like we don't argue a lot because Sam was too forgiving or spineless. I only realized that I still had the same mindset as my friends, that Sam was too forgiving and always a victim, when talking to my friend Daisy, 24F, the one who is letting me move in with her love. Regardless of all that, I've always felt slightly guilty because Sam is genuinely a very sweet person who isn't very good at getting angry or holding grudges or anything like that. But then for a couple of days this past week, he has felt like an entirely different person. I don't know if it's anger or resentment or some secret third option, but he's been so quiet. I know I said in previous updates that he was acting civil, as though nothing had happened and that he was in denial about the breakup, but I think the denial stage has ended and the anger has begun. Today and yesterday he's gone back to acting normal, but I can't shake the weird feeling that I have, so I'm pretty sure that both our mental states are quickly degrading. First and foremost, please nobody panic, I am safe. I have a lock on my door and a support network checking in with me every few hours. However, since everyone has known Sam for years and like me they've never seen him like this before, it's really difficult to figure out what to expect from him. If anyone needs examples of the strange behavior, it's mainly just glaring at me whenever he sees me and stonewalling me, but I've also started to notice some of my things go missing. It could be from hastily moving them to my friend's parents' house, but a lot of them are sentimental items, so it's hard not to point the finger at the embodiment of a dark cloud that's just looming around the apartment. Why it's freaking me out so much, but maybe because it feels like a switch has flipped suddenly. I also feel like I'm the one being weird though, because isn't this what I wanted? I literally played Baby Shark on my laptop all day today while I was at work, and while Max called and texted me asking me to turn it off, I heard nothing from Sam. It was also a male coworker of mine who installed the lock on my door, so yeah, I haven't exactly been acting kindly. I almost feel like a schoolboy pulling on a girl's pigtails for attention right now, but I feel so unsettled to have no verbal reaction, so I feel like a bit of an idiot. Like, of course he's going to be angry if I do all this petty stuff. What did I expect? I still don't feel unsafe, but I think maybe my mental health has just hit a breaking point, and I can no longer pretend that it all doesn't get to me. It's weirder still that Max seems to agree with me about Sam's odd behavior. Two people who have hated each other for years have suddenly been united somehow by the one they care about, so maybe that's a bit of a silver lining. Today, after I came and turned off Baby Shark, Max knocked on my door and asked if anything else had happened with Sam. I told him no, and that the sudden change in his behavior had nothing to do with me directly, just indirect pettiness. He just sighed and asked when I was moving out, saying Sam was only going to get worse the longer I stayed, to which I told him that it was none of his business if I stayed forever. A bit childish of me, I know, but it's so annoying for Max to try and take on the mediator role since that's usually Sam. He just sighed again and asked me not to play Baby Shark, that I shouldn't make him suffer for being in the middle of mine and Sam's issues, which I thought was very presumptuous of him considering how the fight started, but whatever. I even started to feel, later on that night, very grateful that Max was here, purely because of how strange Sam was making me feel. So yeah, itching to get out and feeling not only guilty but frustrated that even if he's angered by my actions, he still won't talk to me. Nothing I'm doing or feeling is rational, I know, but I feel like anyone who has been through a relationship breakup after 2 years might empathize with me. If you're reading this and you have any advice for how to get through not only losing your partner but feeling like you wasted a massive portion of your life on them? Another thing to point out in my defense is that Sam was acting strange before the Baby Shark incident. I played it on my laptop in my locked bedroom while I went to work, so about 8 hours, and he wasn't even home when I had my coworker install the lock on my door, though maybe Max twisted that story? Can I possibly believe that it was me baking lemon drizzle and not giving them any was his breaking point, or did he just then suddenly realize it was over? Am I a bad person for feeling safe with Max? Please nobody comment any incel things like how my female hormones are telling me to side with the alpha male or anything like that. I'll seriously die from cringing. I just need some reassurance that given the circumstances, the fact that me and Max are suddenly getting on a little better doesn't mean that I'm somehow betraying Sam, even though we're pretty much broken up, and that I have no obligation to check in with Sam about his behavior. The good news is that Daisy's parents have been moving out my stuff over the last week, and now only the big things remain. If the situation gets too weird, I'm just going to cut my losses and sleep in Daisy's old room in her parents' house. But hopefully I can wait a couple more days. That's right guys, Daisy's moved her flight and the apartment is all sorted. I'll be moving in almost a week sooner than I thought I would. Only a few days more in this hellhole. Maybe it's this knowledge that has made the apartment unbearable, just being so close to freedom yet not quite there yet? Who cares? My next update will be as a free woman, can you believe it? I'm so grateful for my surrogate family out here, and that they're taking this messy breakup so seriously. If you think the Reddit posts are paranoid, you guys should meet Daisy's parents. BC tell me why I'm the ones reassuring them all the time? Anyways, that's all the information I wanted to share with you guys. Sorry that it's low-key a mental breakdown full of paranoia and insane behavior. I'm not as mentally strong or mature as I thought I was, and I accept that. Thank you again, Reddit. I hope you're all keeping well and know that I'm so very grateful for all your help and support. Until next time, laughing face. Edit. Several people have commented that I am an insane roommate for what I did, and I think that my previous posts have people confused about the lengths I've actually gone to. I have not used their toothbrushes in the toilet or hidden shrimp in the curtain rods. Not that I was ever. That was a joke. And if you want a list of the petty things I actually did, you should check out the mini update post on my profile, which is a comprehensive list. As for people commenting to inform me that what I've done is an asshole move, yeah, I know that's the point. It's not possible to be petty without being an asshole. That's quite literally the whole point. There's such conflicting advice that I'm tempted to just side with the people being polite to me, since most of the people calling me a psycho bitch don't seem to know the full story or care. Sorry for elongating the post, but it's so much worse to receive hate comments for being misunderstood than for things you actually did. Thanks to everyone else who commented either in support or against my actions who were respectful and clear. I genuinely appreciate it, and it's helped me figure out what I will update tomorrow. She posted an update as update 3. It wasn't easy or clean, but I'm out. As I am typing this, I am sitting in another guest bedroom, but this time in a new neighborhood, a closer commute to my workplace, next to my best friend, Daisy 24F, who has assured me I can stay here forever, not that I'm planning to, don't worry. She landed literally 5 hours ago, and her parents have been helping me move my things into this apartment all last week. I feel very guilty for being such a burden but also beyond grateful for being blessed with amazing people in my life. However, before I get into all the details of the move, I really need to clarify some things. Feel free to skip the next few paragraphs if you just want to read about the train wreck that was moving out. First, regarding the comments calling out my petty behavior, I completely acknowledge that enacting petty revenge on Sam and Max wasn't the 100% NTA thing to do, but I want to point out that nothing petty is. Synonyms of petty include mean, spiteful, and ungenerous, and I have hundreds of comments supporting my petty Betty actions. I also want to clarify, again, that I did nothing with the shrimp but make stir fry. I thought it was obviously a joke but forgot that there are some crazy people on the internet, so sorry if I made anyone worried that I was going to break the law or drag the innocent landlord into this mess. I never was. Please see my mini update for the actual list of things I did. Second, I also want to clarify that what I did wasn't because strangers on the internet told me to, sorry friends, but rather because I wanted to force Sam into speaking to me. Of course, it was irrational, but I would rather he get angry and shout at me so that he would at least acknowledge that our 2-year-long relationship is over. Instead, he's been ignoring me every time I bring up constructive conversations and acting like everything is normal if I play along with his delusions. I think a lot of comments on my last post didn't consider not only that I've been forced into a hostile living situation but that the person who did so was my romantic partner for over 2 years, and that it's not a cut-and-dry roommate from health situation. I will say though, I'm sort of glad Reddit helped me realize that even though I don't want to be a pushover, I don't want to be an asshole more, so thank you for that, it's a good lesson to learn. I'm also sorry to everyone who felt disappointed in me, but I'm not perfect. Hell, it's been common knowledge that I can be spiteful. My first post is literally me telling Max the truth about Sam's lies purely out of anger. So yeah, I'm a petty, psycho bitch according to some Reddit comments and an idiot pushover to others. You can't please them all, can you? Third, other things I think I need to clarify are that my ex-boyfriend is not a cradle robber. I think some people are confusing Sam and Max's age gaps. Sam is 25, Max is 27 and I am 24. Me and Sam were 21 and 22 when we first got involved. There's plenty of criticism that Sam deserves, but this isn't one of them. Sorry if the way I wrote it was confusing though. I'm still pretty new to posting, so there's been a learning curve in how to present information to the Reddit audience or reposters. Okay, that was slightly too long. Now let's get on to the update. I really wish that I could say that both Sam and Max weren't there when I moved out and I was able to subtly leave a note, but no, they were both home. I also wish I could say that they stayed civil, but the minute Daisy's parents arrived, it's like all the things Sam was holding back this week came out in the worst language possible. Nothing physical, don't worry, but I had no clue that such things could come out of Sam's mouth, so it was a bit of a slap in the face. Some examples of the monologue of insults were that I was an insecure psycho bitch, that I was cheating on him this whole time, that I was going to my new boyfriend's place, and he hoped terrible things would happen to me, etc., etc., etc. Don't want to go into more detail than that if I'm honest. To Max's credit, he said nothing, just watched the whole scene unfold, but there's a part of me that's fairly certain he's the one who put that shit in Sam's head. Though, it's getting harder to believe it's all his influence since it's clear that I don't know Sam like I thought I did. It was a difficult situation, but I hope everyone will be happy to hear that before I slammed the door on them, I shouted that I'd hoped they would be very happy together. RIP to the final load of laundry that I forgot to take out of the dryer before making my escape, but Daisy says she would love to go get it and rip into Sam while she's there. I've asked her not to for now, since I'm definitely done with any getting back at Sam and Max and just want to move on. My informant, I giggle every time I call them that, but it's high time I reward him with a name. Ted, 25M, has let me know that Sam and Max have just invited the friend group over to the apartment for a party. I wonder what they're celebrating, joke? It's a shame, though. I think the vibe of their party might be slightly ruined when I sent them an album of screenshots showing Max's abuse and Sam's dismissal of it. Unfortunately, I had no proof that he was lying to Max. We never discussed the lie over text, I guess because we live together so we mostly speak in person, but the texts where I'm asking him to back me up are still pretty damning, telling me to just ignore him or block him. Well, now they are both blocked and I'm happy to report that I have not turned into a new Max. To thank Daisy for her help, I've cleaned the entire apartment, bought this week's groceries, and am currently giving her a back massage, the first of many. We're drinking Rose, couldn't drink Rose ever around Sam because he'd launch into a tirade about how awful it is. Red flag? And we're rewatching Love Island is awful but also awfully good. Any Amber Gill fans in the comments will be welcomed lol. Sorry if this next bit is too sappy and you can skip if you want, but I need to say it somewhere. I didn't realize how much I miss just being myself, even if it means being embarrassing. Just now I laughed normally in front of Daisy. I have a bit of a snort laugh like Sandra Bullock in Miss Congeniality, and she said something along the lines of, "I missed you and your weird laugh," and I just started crying. On the surface I think it was because that was something Sam had never said, but maybe deeper down it was because I realized I wasted 2, if not 3, years of my life on this asshole who didn't put me first and didn't even like my laugh. It's the first time I've cried since this all went down, and I feel like I haven't had the time to mourn this relationship or this phase of my life at all. Now it's hit me all at once that it's over, and there's nothing I can do to fix or change anything. I don't want him back, there's just a lot of complicated feelings that I needed to vent about somewhere. That's all from me for now, and as for advice, all I really want to know is how to make friends in a big city. Do I join a Facebook group? Reach out to old friends? Walk the streets begging? And maybe advice on how to get over a breakup where you realize the other person never loved you like you loved them would be good to have as well. The adrenaline has subsided, and the emotions are coming out. She posted an update as update 4. Sorry to everyone who was waiting for this post yesterday, but the revelations that occurred after I dropped the screenshots on Sam, Max and our mutual friends were so crazy that I had to talk to everyone at the party to confirm the stories. Even now, there is so much to say and so much unconfirmed that I'm not confident this post won't have to be updated with several additions or revisions here and there. I'm also very unsure how to present this information without it sounding insane, but I've realized there is no way to present insane information without it sounding, well, like what it is. To put it shortly, Sam lied. To put it longly, Sam has lied to everyone in his life for several years to the point that I am doubting every interaction I've ever had with any of my friends or acquaintances and can't even begin to imagine the scale of defamation that he has brought upon my life. Insane, right? But before I get to the particulars, we should talk about what specifically went down at the party. I wasn't there, obviously, as it was a party to celebrate me moving out, so everything I am telling you now is secondhand information primarily from Ted, my informant, but also from a couple of other mutual friends who have since come around to my side. Around midnight is when I sent the screenshots I had collected. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any evidence of Sam admitting over text that he had lied to Max, but I did find several screenshots where he brushed off my pleas for him to stop Max from abusing me, and obviously I had many screenshots of Max's abuse. I knew that there were several people in the group who I had talked to about Max's behavior before who were supportive of me, and so I thought that I could at least save my friendships with them. I sent the screenshots to the group chat we had and then left and deleted it, turning my phone off and settling down for a movie marathon, the Alien movies if anyone was interested, although I fell asleep midway through Alien 3. Ted says that when the collection of photos dropped, literally everyone at the party stopped. He said they were hanging out in the living room when one of our friends bolted upright and asked Max if he really texted those things to me or if the texts were fake. At that moment Max, drunk, apparently smirked and said, "Yeah, thank God that cheating slag is back on the streets," which was when the rest of our friends looked at Sam. The man of the hour was pale and avoiding eye contact. Ted then asked if it was true that I had cheated and Sam said nothing while Max ranted and raved about how shit Ted was for questioning Sam. Ted then asked again and another friend asked if Sam had any proof. Sam tried to nod, but then made no attempt to show anyone any kind of proof. Max then seemed to sober up slightly, and asked Sam why he wasn't asking Kelly, one of our mutual friends, to show everyone the evidence, since you guys are finally broken up now, so it doesn't matter if everyone finds out. Everyone then looked at Kelly, who just looked confused, saying that she had never heard about me cheating, nor did she have any evidence of it. What did Sam say to that? Nothing. Maybe it was because he was drunk, or maybe he realized he had been found out, but he just stayed completely silent, staring down at his lap. Eventually one of our other friends, Harry, asked Sam if it was even true that I was stealing money, which prompted everyone to now turn to him. Sam stayed silent and Harry then asked again, and asked if what Sam had told him last night was even true. My ex-boyfriend's lack of response then seemed to prompt other people to begin questioning him. I won't and can't bore you with the nitty-gritty of what happened next, since I wasn't there and everyone was drunk, but Ted tells me it all started to unravel after Harry's comments. Multiple other friends had been told that it was Max who was stealing money, and I think there was even a third version for some others, though I can't confirm. I don't know how precisely they started to figure out that most everything of what Sam told them in confidence was bullshit, but I hear it was pretty shocking. Ted tells me that the party ended soon after, with him and several others leaving, but other friends waiting for cabs told me that Max and Sam almost got into a physical altercation, and that their argument ended with Max leaving to sleep on Harry's couch. If any of that sounds confusing, please remember I heard all of this secondhand from hungover individuals who were drunk during it and have only shared things that multiple people confirmed happened. I was obviously told more unconfirmed details about how Sam lied about almost every part of our relationship in different ways to almost all of our friends. I know that each of them had their own private grievance with me that Sam had told them and then made them promise not to bring up to me. Yesterday when I first heard from Ted everything that happened and every lie that was alleged, I wanted to write out a list of everything he's told different people, but it all looks so ridiculous, so made up and so hard to believe that I sounded genuinely mental. In my first ever post where I talked about this, I said that I didn't want to include any of the specifics of Max's texts because they might identify me, and that for the most part they were very random and not related to the housing situation. I'm sure you can guess by now, but it turns out they weren't so random. In many of his texts Max accused me of being crazy, or mistreating Sam and of frequently cheating on him, which I brushed off as just thinking he had taken the red pill and now thought all women were cheating gold diggers. I will reiterate as many times as I need to, I have never in my life cheated on anyone, let alone Sam. I don't want to share too many personal details, but I will say that my family was ripped apart by cheating when I was a child, and it's part of the reason that I don't speak to my parents at all. People may have noticed that with how much I talked about Daisy's parents being like my surrogate parents in the comments of my previous post, but if I'm honest, they're not like them, they are them. The closest people in my life for the last 3 years have been Daisy and Sam, and they both know this about me, but many don't, not because I don't trust them but just because you'd have to catch me at an extremely vulnerable moment for me to speak about it at all. Anyway, all that to say that Max believed what he said to me was true, not because he hates women, hates me, or is jealous in either a platonic or romantic way, but because Sam is a fucking liar who has been telling Max these things for years. Max's list of lies is the only one I haven't gotten yet, as he's the only one I haven't spoken to directly. I have texts from him, from Harry paraphrasing the text that Max tried to send me at 6 a.m. after the party ended, only to realize that he was blocked, telling me that Sam had been lying about many things including cheating, that he was so angry at him and so sorry to me, so at least I know that. I've unblocked him, called, and even texted Harry asking if I could have a proper conversation with him, but it seems that after crashing on Harry's couch after the party, Max disappeared and turned off his phone. If I had to guess, I would say he probably went to Sam's apartment to get his stuff, but as for what happened after, only Sam knows, and I am not unblocking him. Nobody else in the group has heard from either Sam or Max since the party, but it's only been about a day or so, so there's no cause for concern yet, but I can't lie, I am slightly worried. I couldn't have expected or even hoped for an explosion like this, and yet I've somehow come out unscathed and with my friends firmly back on my side. Whether I want them by my side after staying quiet about all the things Sam told them, confided, is another story, and I won't lie and say that I'm not enraged that they could hear such outlandish things about me and not say anything. On the other hand, there are also many things that Sam has told me about them that turned out to be lies, so I don't want to be too much of a hypocrite. In fact, this is why I'm so desperate to speak to Max, because there are several things Sam told me about him that could be entirely false, in which case we've been pitted against each other for no reason other than Sam's strange complex. I've already Googled what medical conditions can cause compulsive lying, and so to answer some questions I foresee in the comments, no, I've never seen Sam touch a substance other than alcohol, I don't know of any outstanding mental illnesses, and he doesn't have any medications he's meant to take, and I know of no previous trauma that could make him this way. Could I call up his mom and ask about his childhood and try to ascertain why he did what he did? Maybe. But I'm not his girlfriend anymore. I feel nothing other than contempt and disgust towards him, and I owe him nothing after he lied to me and everyone else for years. I'm sorry to say that that is where my update ends. I wish I had more particulars that I could get in touch with Max, or that I could tell you why Sam lied or how he kept it up for so many years. I don't have the truth of anything, so I'm only left with lies and fires to put out. It's not a good feeling, and if I didn't have Daisy, her parents, Ted, or Reddit, I couldn't even tell you what I would be doing right now. Even with this loving community around me and so many apologetic friends spamming my phone, I can't tell what I should do next. People say that the truth is what sets you free, but I feel as though I've become untethered. Or maybe instead, I feel as though I've just discovered that I've been untethered for years. She posted an update as update 5. So Sam and Max are getting married. Just kidding, but I am updating because Max finally responded to my messages and agreed to meet with me. After the party about a week ago, Max crashed on Harry's couch and then left before anyone else had woken up, turning off his phone and going MIA. He's back on the grid now though, staying with his parents until his place is ready, so when I messaged him and invited him to coffee, he decided to come. I know there were comments advising me against meeting him at all, given his treatment of me, but I think we both needed some closure. I think it's one thing to need closure after loving someone for years, but hating someone for years and then finding out that you were both wrong is another level of fucked up. So yeah, we went to a cafe and we finally hashed it out. It was super awkward, and somehow there's even more to this story than I thought, but I think before I share any of that we should start at the beginning. The very beginning. I met Sam during Freshers Week in my university. He was a year above, 19, and I was a fresher, 18. Max didn't go to uni at all actually, but had gone straight into an apprenticeship after sixth form, and only visited our uni on the weekends. I didn't meet him in person until second year, when I became a lot closer with Sam and his friends. I was 20, Sam was 21, and Max was 23. Their mothers were childhood friends and so put a lot of pressure on Sam and Max to not only get along, but to also be extremely close. That pressure to be close and get along also affected Sam's uni life, as Max would often visit him on the weekends. I wasn't particularly close to Sam during my first year. We were just in the same friendship group since we did similar courses, but I do remember frequently hearing about Sam having a friend from home over. However, Max was never introduced to the group. When speaking with him, Max said that Sam would brush off the idea, saying that he didn't want to split his attention with anyone else and so Max shouldn't worry about doing the rounds of his uni friends. Sam wasn't able to keep Max separated forever though. Max was able to make himself a part of the group when Harry, another mutual friend, had an internship that summer in the town Sam and Max were from. As he spent his time bouncing between their homes, they all became much closer. Hearing that I joked that Max definitely should have stayed with Harry at the beginning of this ordeal since he clearly owed him, but I think Max still felt too guilty to laugh. All that background to say that Max strongly suspects that Sam's lying could have begun when he felt as though his uni friend group was threatened by him, and that he wanted to regain some control. That's not exactly what he said, but I've reworded it with the help of my therapist. Oh yeah, I'm in therapy now. Anyway, by our second year at uni, Harry was very pro Max and invited him up independently of Sam to hang out. Their hometown is incredibly close, like a 20-minute drive away, so whenever Max was off work he began to hang out more and more with us, eventually becoming a permanent fixture in the group. It was around this time when I first met Max at a Christmas party one of the people on mine and Sam's course was throwing. I don't really remember it myself. I think I was quite drunk, but I didn't think much of it. On the other hand, Max tells me that he remembers it quite well. This part of the conversation was by far the most awkward part, but Max told me that practically the minute they arrived he had asked Sam to introduce us. I asked him why, and he hesitated at first until he admitted that he was interested in me. Yeah, bit of a plot twist there? In case anyone was wondering, no, me and Sam were not yet a thing. In fact, Sam wasn't even on my radar until about a month later, so I can't tell you if he felt threatened or anything like that. For his part, Max admitted that his interest was short-lived and that it was unlikely that Sam genuinely felt threatened, especially since I didn't even remember our first meeting, but he thinks this fact may have contributed to Sam's lies centering on me cheating, a subconscious worry because of Max's former interest. In my opinion, Max's theories on why Sam did what he did didn't make a lot of sense to me, but that may be either because I don't know Sam like he does, or the opposite, that Max is too close to the painting to see the whole picture. Regardless, I thought I would share it with you guys to put your minds to rest, since so many were still begging for me to dig around and find a root cause. I can also sense many comments pushing me into trying to figure out whether Max still likes me or not, and I'm just telling you now that you're jumping the gun. I need a serious break from relationships right now, and Max is actively looking for a therapist. Also, a vengeance-fueled hookup isn't going to end well for anyone, and I seriously doubt that his feelings are sustained/renewed. The meeting was so awkward that the only emotions I could read off of him were guilt, shame and discomfort. So sorry, but my life is not a movie, just a series of unfortunate events. Me and Max have gone our separate ways, ending on a good, if not awkward note. We each got to apologize to each other for everything, Max for the abuse, me for the bitching. Yeah, I used to bitch about that guy to other people like it was a national sport, and we both agreed to let the other know if Sam ever contacted them again. I finally asked him about the real reason he got kicked out of his apartment. It turns out that the story Sam gave me was a lie, who would have guessed, and that it turns out Max's girlfriend was actually cheating on him, hence his dramatically sudden and insulting exit from their apartment. He said it wasn't an excuse, but an explanation for why he had such a volatile reaction to my refusal to let him stay, as combined with the things Sam told him about my cheating and isolating tactics, he felt as though Sam was going through a similar thing to him. I assured him that I'd long forgiven him, that Sam was a big enough scapegoat for all of us to move forward regardless of everything else, and that I'd see him at the next dinner party our friends hosted. Yeah, I know many people wanted me to ditch them, but after Sam's lies were revealed and they realized they had also all been affected, they banded together pretty effectively and kicked him out of their lives. It hasn't been easy navigating the tensions in the wake of Sam, especially given that there is now no mediator to diffuse tensions, but the silver lining is that there is also no narcissist who will use those tensions to his own advantage and pit people against each other. I'm just taking it slow and not expecting too much. In personal news though, I took a lot of the advice in the comments about joining local groups to make new friends. Daisy is also slightly friendless since she's been abroad for so long, and I didn't think it was a good idea to bring her into Sam's, my group of uni friends during such a tumultuous time. I don't know how to refer to them, since they only became my main group of friends after I graduated and started dating Sam, but regardless, Daisy doesn't know them very well and I don't think their personalities would match. So, instead, we've been going to a couple paint and sip sessions, gigs, bars and other fun places here and there. It's been amazing watching our friendship blossom despite everything, and I just need to reiterate again that she is the loveliest human ever and I am so lucky. Okay, that's the end of the update, and probably the final one since I don't see anything crazier than this happening anytime soon. I hope everyone who has supported me thus far is experiencing success, good health and even better friendships. I will continue to reply to comments as much as I can and check DMs. Thank you so much everyone for all the engagement, good and bad, and for supporting my growth. Thank you for listening the story to the end. If you enjoy our videos, so don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a good day, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it and hit the notification bell icon to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.